Good morning. Happy Thursday. It's been a minute since we've gathered, and I put one of these talks out, and I apologize for that. This past week I was at a wedding, a very glorious and beautiful wedding. And God used some of the events of that wedding and some of the new people and new friends that I made at that wedding to remind me that we have a purpose, and God gives us tasks, and God gives us callings, and God gives us things in our lives that we can use for His glory. And I had forgotten that this was one of them. So as I ask God for forgiveness for letting this slide, I'd like to ask you for the forgiveness too. One of the things that I learned from that wedding was that God has a purpose and a plan. The wedding was two young people who got married. Obviously, well, not obviously, two young people, two beautiful young people were joined and celebrated in their marriage. And the mother of the bride, in her blessing, said some things that really struck me. The young lady was born in Russia and adopted to an American family. The young man was born in South Africa, and his family emigrated to the United States. All things that God knew was going to happen when these two young people were born in different parts of the world and wound their way to the East Coast of the United States, where they found happiness and joy in a marriage ordained by God. And I know the world says that this happens by, life happens by chance and, random encounters and stuff like that. But these are the same people that want to tell me and you that this entire universe and human life happened by accident. I don't believe it. I know and believe in a God who orchestrates things for His glory, orchestrated the universe, orchestrated life, orchestrates our lives, knows where we're going and how we're getting there. And if we enter His service through salvation, we are part of that plan. And He works before we know Him to bring people into our lives to give us that opportunity. He works through our lives so that we may have that encounter with others to bring them to the Lord. Because God asks us that we may be part of His plan, and He asks us for obedience, not performance. He is in charge of performance. He is in charge of results. We are in charge of doing the things that He asks us to do. And that's beautiful. And I looked around the people that I met some new friends, met some people became more friendly with. I knew them, but we had a really good social engagement. I hope that continues. And I watched these two young people start off on a life that their families are Christians, they are Christians, and that God has started a new union that will have the opportunity to bless His kingdom and bless Him like no other union can, because my marriage is different, your marriage is different. But we are all brothers and sisters in Christ, which allows us to have a beautiful relationship. So it wasn't lost on me that these two young people probably had parts in their lives that were less godly, that weren't great. We all have parts in our life, and I found this out through friends that I met that had painful, not godly parts of their lives. But the joy of going forward in Jesus Christ is that we have the opportunity to serve Him, to take those things that were ungodly and use them for godly principles. Look at the ragtag team of misfits that Christ turned into the foundations of the early church, and how far we have come because He called them. And that's the key. He calls us. So as God has asked me to do these things, I certainly hope to be more and better at every other Thursday as He allows me and gives me things to say and graces the technology to put this out. Know that God is with you, and know that even though your life may not be beautiful right now as you see it, you are still beautiful in God's eyes. No matter what goes on, no matter where you are, no matter what troubles surround you, God will get you through. Have a great Thursday. Hope to see you in church. Bye-bye.